If you think you've been listening to good music all this while, I think you gotta think again, because you haven't really heard of high quality audio until you've seen this guy. I'm your host Thiru, and this is Random Review Squad. Right, this little black thing right here is the FiiO BTR3K. What is this? This is basically a Bluetooth app. I know everyone is into the Bluetooth earpieces and earphones thing right now, and you know, with AirPods and AirPods Pros and all that, but they don't really match up to the level of wired earpieces, especially when you can get them for much cheaper and they sound much better. There's only a few reasons why you would get Bluetooth earpieces. Like maybe you want the transparency mode, or you want to use it for sports, then yeah, you would get a Bluetooth earpiece. But otherwise, if you're traveling or you really want to enjoy good music and good audio quality, then you gotta get yourself a wired earpiece. But of course, there's always these problems with Bluetooth, or in fact wired earpieces. You know, when you wear them, you know, they get tangled everywhere, or you know, you gotta plug them into your phones, and phones now do not have 3.5mm jacks. Some of your earpieces are the high level ones, which require 2.5mm BA jacks and all that. Yeah, that causes a problem basically. That's why this guy comes in, alright? The FiiO BTR3K. It's a very small Bluetooth DAC amp. And what this guy does is basically, or what an amp basically does is, it amplifies your music, okay? So to put it very simply, there are drivers in your earpieces that require electric current to function, and you need a certain amount of electric current to really maximize the drivers in the headphones or the earpieces, right? And sometimes phones don't deliver the maximum or the optimum amount of current or power to your drivers. So yeah, that's why you get DAC amps, right? DACs, basically what a DAC means is a digital audio converter. So a DAC simply converts the digital signal into an analog one. You don't really need to know what that means, but usually the analog signal is what allows you to listen to music. Now you usually see these DACs in your 3.5mm jacks in your phones and all that, so they do the conversion there. As you all know, 3.5mm jacks have been dying out, so that's why you kind of have to resort to external ones. The issue that Bluetooth earpieces face is that they can't really pack as much power into those small pods, and you know, you can't really power high-end drivers in those small pods, because you know, you have to charge and then you take them out. They have to have space for battery, they have to have space for the DAC, you know, and all that stuff. There's only so much a Bluetooth earpiece can do, and that's why we get a portable DAC like this, the FiiO BT3RK. So this FiiO BT3RK, what it does is it connects via Bluetooth, okay? So it eliminates the need for a 3.5mm jack on your phone, alright? So it connects via Bluetooth 5.0, and it can be used both as a Bluetooth connected amp, DAC amp, or it can also be used as a Type-C connected DAC amp. So it's got both Type-C and Bluetooth, alright? And of course it's charged via Type-C. 2.5mm balanced armature jack, alright? So that one is for more of the audiophiles out there who want to listen to very, very high quality music. So for the normal people like us who listen to 3.5mm music through the 3.5mm jack, and you have earpieces that actually sound good, it will sound much better with this. So the amp is able to power with its own power inside, okay, because it's charged up, right? So it's able to power and drive the earpieces well enough for them to function optimally, and also to be able to hit those difference in, you know, frequencies and all that. So basically you have better quality music. Another reason why this gives you better quality music is also because of these things called codecs, right? So codecs is basically, okay, I don't want to go into details, but basically it's what affects how much data is being transferred when your song, you know, is being transferred via Bluetooth. So there are different types of audio codecs, and I think the worst one would be, I wouldn't say worst one, but the lowest tier one is AAC and SBC. one of the top tier ones, it's LDAC. Okay, so LDAC is actually Sony's proprietary audio codec, which means you get better quality audio, right? So this one is able to support all those codecs. Basically, as long as your phone has support for it, this one can support it as well. Right, so for SBC, it's actually blue light, and then for AAC, it's cyan light. APTX and APTX LL is purple light. APTX HD is yellow light, and LDAC is white light. Alright, although the white doesn't look as obvious, but it's good enough, right? So this does not have like any digital screen or whatnot, it's just the pulsing of the FiiO logo. So you base off the colors and then you decide what's happening with the DAC amp. Alright, so the unboxing experience is actually pretty simple. It came in a small box like this, BT3RK Bluetooth headphone amp. It's pretty simple. If you open it up, you have, of course, your quick start guide, and then you have the amp itself, and they actually have some accessories that come with it, which is pretty cool to see, you know. You have a clip, so it comes with like a plastic clip holder, and it also has some other stuff. Let me just check it out. Yeah, it has a lanyard for some reason, and of course a USB-C cable for you to charge the amp. Alright, quick unboxing experience. You just take it out, you turn on, and then you pair it via Bluetooth. This, of course, you can just use the guide to pair it. Of course, this amp, it does cost about $100, right? $100 SGD, right? So you can get it on Lazada or Shopee, and I think those are the common sites where you can get this amp. It's pretty good actually. I've been using this for about 3 weeks now, alright? And I have to say that my audio quality has improved because I use the Blonde BL03s. Okay, so this is basically a Chinese hi-fi IEM, right? Which I bought on Lazada. It's about $30 only, and it's amazing. I've been using those earpieces to listen, and I plug that into this. And of course, the phone is my Pixel 4 XL. It's able to support up to LDAC, so that's good. Tried it on the MacBook. The MacBook doesn't support LDAC. I think it's only at SBC or AAC. So I think computers don't really have high levels of codec support for audio. So the battery is actually 330 mAh, so it's not very big, but it does last about 2 days to 2 to 3 days. Not in hours, but basically let's say you're commuting that day and you have your earpiece on most of the time. I think it would last about 2 to 3 days of, you know, work, which is pretty good. Of course, the more you increase your volume, the more you power your earpieces, they're gonna drain the battery a little bit more. Of course, they also have the FiiO music app, which actually controls the DAC amp. Okay, so basically if I go into the FiiO app on the phone, you will immediately get like a whole set of, you know, options for you to choose from, or options for you to change. It tells you the name of the connected device, and then it says what codec is currently, you know, kind of running on or listening on, and then the volume and the battery percentage, which is pretty much a lot of information already. Then you can actually turn off charging. You can turn off the RGB indicator. So all these things I think probably help with saving battery life. You can turn on car mode as well. I haven't tried car mode because I don't drive. Then of course there's a wire function as well. So basically the wire function means you can actually put in the Type-C wire and then use it as a desktop DAC amp even. Like whatever computer you have, this can be a DAC amp to that, as long as you have a USB-C to USB-A or whatever other connector that you may have. Of course, there's 2 work modes for this. There's high performance. I've been running it at high performance. That's why I think the battery usually finishes out like within 3 or 4 travels back and forth from work. Probably like 3 days of battery life. There is a significant difference from plugging in directly to your phone, and there's also a significant difference from listening to Bluetooth earphones to actually using this DAC amp and connecting it to a wired earpiece or wired IEM. Right? Of course, your wired IEM have to be good lah. You don't go and use the stock or the old Apple earpiece, the one that got mic all. Yeah, then that one of course will sound quite bad lah, but you need to have a good earpiece to actually see the difference. You actually also can handle the idle power off. So let's say this thing is not connected to anything for quite a while, not playing anything for quite a while, you can actually adjust the timing that it shuts off, right? Which is pretty cool. And then you can select the Bluetooth codec that you want to support, and you can also put in an input priority. So when you first connect, whether this thing will first turn on whether this thing searches for Bluetooth or whether it searches for wired capability, that you can actually choose that as well. And then of course there's an equalizer. Alright, I think you can't use the equalizer when you're on LDAC. Alright, you can use the equalizer for the lower end codecs, because LDAC is like the highest possible quality already, so why do you want to equalize it, right? And then of course you can change, there's even more settings, like there's a low pass filter, and then there's channel balancing, all those higher end things that if you don't understand, you don't have to play around with. Basically adjust the volume of the tones, volume of call, volume of the DAC amp itself, because this thing will tell you, oh, power on, power off. So that there is some amount of sound coming from this as well. And then of course there's an operating guide for you for the entire DAC amp. You don't even need to go online, everything is on this app itself. So it's good to download the FiiO Music app if you have this DAC amp. So if you look closely at the DAC amp itself, it is very simple. It's 2.5D glass, it's pretty strong. I've dropped it like 1 or 2 times. Nothing has happened. No scratches so far. I always put it in my pocket. It comes with, of course, the clip case, which you should use because it's good so you don't lose this thing, because it's awfully slippery. It will slip out of your pants. Definitely, unless you're wearing jeans. Got a Type-C connector below for charging and for desktop amp. And then you have a power button. You also have an assistant button. So this has Google Assistant and CV functions as well. You can use them to turn on your assistant, alright? And then you can speak. Of course, you also have the volume buttons up and down. And the volume buttons, you can use them to pause, play, and fast forward, or like, you know, skip a track and all that. So those are basic controls that they have. Right, so let's quickly talk about the audio quality. Alright, so basically the audio quality, if you're using, like I'm gonna say it straight up, if you're using a bad earpiece, okay, I wouldn't say $5 ones, like one of those stock earpieces, they come with the phone, basically those lapsap one lah, you know, right? Then you wouldn't expect to see much difference in audio quality. There would be a huge difference actually, but it won't be as good as having a proper earpiece. If I connect it just to my phone, like let's say I put in, usually my usual setup was initially connecting a USB-C to 3.5mm jack connector, and then I connect the 3.5mm jack to my earpiece. Kind of took out a lot of the power being delivered, and the earpieces sounded soft, alright? The audio quality wasn't as clear, it wasn't as sharp, the bass was a little muddy, okay? Of course, when there's wires connected, there's also the issue of being tangled and all that. This eliminates all that, alright? So you connect to this, connect to Bluetooth, you can use your phone freely, you don't have any wires flying around, just put that into your pocket, you just put this into your pocket, carry on with your day. Of course, the audio is much better, it's sharper, it's clearer. You know, usually the marker that denotes better audio quality is when you start to hear certain instruments or sounds that you've never heard before. Like people who first start to listen to good audio quality will start to pick those sounds up. Like, oh, I never heard this before, you know? And that's when you know your earpiece is actually hitting those frequencies and you are able to hear these instruments and the audio quality is better, alright? So yeah, and the bass was, you know, the bass was tighter. So yeah, in terms of audio quality, using this is much better. And is it worth the $100? Definitely. Yeah, I was using the FiiO A3 portable DAC amp before this, but that one still required wire. So you still had to connect through wire. And it was much bigger, and then you had to hold it with your phone. It was a whole hassle. This is much simpler. I think for the portability and the sound quality that you get from this is insane. And I think FiiO did a really good job with this DAC amp. And it's definitely worth the $100 that you're paying for this. Right, so if you guys are looking for a way to improve your sound quality, because I think a lot of people are kind of, you know, they don't really know whether they're listening to good quality music. They just listen to it as long as, you know, they hear their favorite singer or they hear the bass thumping, they are ready to go, you know, that's... But some of you guys out there want better quality, especially those guys in bands, those guys who make music. You guys will be looking for something that will give you better audio quality, and this would be one of those, alright? If you guys like this video, please hit the like button and smash that subscribe button. Okay, there's more content like this coming up. If you'd like to see more, just, you know, go and hit the notification bell so that you get notifications whenever I upload. From now on, I'll be possibly uploading every Sunday, and if I can, I'll upload on Wednesdays as well, so that you have new content every week to watch. You guys can join the Discord channel or Discord server down in the description below as well. I'm also streaming at twitch.tv/Thiru5 with some of my friends. I think recently we were streaming Wellheim. Alright, so if you guys are into games as well, come and watch me stream. Until next time, I'm your host Thiru, and this is Random Review Squad.